Like, it's like, I remember back in, like middle school and elementary school, where people used to make fun of the way I look, the way I look, the way I am, who I am. Like, and then now it's like, like everybody wants to act cool with me, and, they want to act like we've been friends since the start. And it's like, like, remember when you like treated me like shit? Like, what's the difference now? Now that I'm making it, like I said I was, from the very beginning, I'm gonna make it regardless of whether I had people with me or without me, like, just like, what's the difference now between, back then when you used to make fun of me, and it's not like, I was a bully, like, I know people go through things and, certain things like that, and, they have their own problems. So, I would never make fun of people, I was never a bully. Like, yeah, I'll tease you here and there, but it'll never be no hurtful emotions or feelings behind it, like, like I can remember, and like, laugh at me or not, like, I can remember, crying because, girls that I like didn't like me, like, and they didn't even like give me a single thought, where I would be like thinking about them the entire day. And it's like now that I've built myself to, who I am right now, it's like everyone wants to be friends with this David, but nobody wanted to be friends with, little David that had no one. Like, I had no one growing up. So it's like, like, you're gonna want that attention that you didn't get when you were little. Like, if you look better right now and you didn't look as good, you're gonna want attention for your looks. But it's important to remember why you did such a thing and who you did it for. Like, if you did it for the people or if you did it for yourself, like, it's important to not let, angry emotions, blur your eyes, to not get tunnel vision about, what you're trying to make people feel, or you're trying to make them regret, treating the way you did when you were, when you were a little kid. It's time to move past that, like, there's no point of building yourself if you can't be the bigger man and move on from, a situation that happened, when you were a little kid and things like that. So, it's just, the only connection I have to social media is, I want to post myself, I want to get that, that feeling and that, those eyes looking at me that I didn't, like, I want to get that popularity, like, oh, like, David looks way better now, like, he's built, he's good at basketball, he looks good, he's taking care of himself, like, I want that attraction, but it's not fulfilling. And I know why I want that attraction is because I didn't get it when I was younger. So, it's important to remember who you're doing it for and why you're doing it. So, that's all I wanted to say. So, yeah.